Hello, and welcome to Temple of the Fall Spot, where our decks are not optimized, but our plays sure as heck are fun. I'm Andy.
I'm Bruce.
Yeah. Welcome back. Thank you all for the wonderful comments on our last episode. We found those treasures to be very treasury, very fun. So I'm glad you enjoyed it as well. Yeah. I just got back from my pre-release this weekend, and Hobbit is turning out to be a fun one.
Absolutely.
But as the tide goes, we're already on to previewing our next set. Kind of. I mean, it's not our next set. They previewed the new 60 new cards for the new convention booster box, mystery booster commander edition.
Yeah.
And so we thought we'd talk about that. It's being released in November, the week of MagicCon Atlanta, possibly just in...
I wouldn't be surprised if it was only convention in a box and available in Atlanta.
Yeah.
At least initially. And then we'll see what happens after that. Cross my fingers and hope for a wider release, because
it seems awesome.
I want some.
For those who don't know, it seems general. So from the information that I have, and maybe there's more information out there.
Yeah.
It seems like Convention Booster 1 and Convention Booster 2 have been suctioned together, taped up with some duct tape, and then they've added 60 cards to it. So it's the list plus 60 cards. I'm sure they'll probably preview or announce, a number of other cards, but we'll see. But as for now, the internet's on fire talking about the 60 new legends that they've released.
Yeah.
And next week we'll be talking about our thoughts on the set as a whole. So if you're wondering how we feel about it, come back next week. But after you watch this one. Yeah, stick around. Yeah, so I figured we'd each choose a couple.
Chat about some of the cards.
Yeah, whether it's our favorites or not.
Yeah.
You'll just have to see.
These were cards more that just caught my eye.
Yes.
I did, it wasn't, these are not my three favorites. These are not the ones that I'm going to make decks out of. These are cards I went like, oh, really? Just something that, made me stop and give it a second look. Like, what is that about? So
I'm ready when you are. Do you want to start this time?
Sure. Let me start this time. So I'm going to start us. So after having said these are not my favorite cards, this could very well be a deck for me in the future. This one is Elda, Conjurer of Spectacle.
Yes.
It's green, white, and 2. Human wizard. It's a 2/2 creature. The first non-legendary creature spell you cast each turn has Demonstrate. I don't remember the last time somebody in my group played a spell that had Demonstrate and I didn't get excited about it. I love Demonstrate cards. Love all of them. It adds so much.
It really
the idea is like, oh, so now here's your option. Do you want to get it twice and give it to somebody else once? Or do you just want it once because you're greedy and don't like fun? The idea that you could do this over and over again, I love everything about Demonstrate. Finding an ally, offering alliances, getting stuff from people if you give them a copy. I love it all. Playing spells, or in this case, playing creatures that the opponent probably doesn't want, but you're going to force on them anyway. Everything about this just screams fun to me. Think of all of the creatures that you play and how much better would they be if you had 2 of them, or a creature that you play that is hugely beneficial to you but just doesn't do anything for the opponent. There are so many ways to make this work. Something as simple as Sakura Tribuilder. Now, instead of just 1, you get 2, and you've given an opponent 1. Or you can go even bigger and start looking at stuff like Avenger of Zendikar and other ridiculousness. The only downside for this card, as far as I'm concerned, is it's only green-white. There's a bit of a limiter there, but even there, I'm going to figure out ways. I'm going to be running a lot of flash creatures. Because it says each turn, not your turn.
Yeah.
Flash creatures, ways to give my creatures flash, and then just start doing it on opponents' turns as well. I think this is just
Yeah.
a fun card. I read this and I was just like, little smile, a little giddy about the whole thing. I think this could be a lot of fun, and I can see me bringing this out during games and having my opponents go, all right.
Yeah,
So,
right. Like
yeah.
it also has that ability where people won't be targeting it as much because I mean, like, unless you start to do really broken things with it. Like, imagine finally having Meteor Golem be like well costed because you're getting essentially 3 triggers. Like, if you're gonna give Meteor Golem to somebody, they're probably not going to use it on one of your things.
No.
So you have essentially 3 targets because they're going to get 1, you're going to get 2. It's great.
Yeah.
No, I'm very excited about the things you can do with this card. I also had it in my list. It's very excited.
This is going to be fun.
My first one.
Yeah.
I'll go with the one that I've already started building a deck for.
Sure. Yes.
It's Grandmother Goby.
Okay.
She's a blue merfolk wizard for 2 blue, so 4 mana for a 2/2. Well, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, counter that spell. Create a number of 1/1 blue merfolk creature tokens equal to the amount of mana spent to cast that spell. So, there's a number of ways there's a number of trails that this deck wants to go down.
Yeah.
The first one being just big blue spells, right?
Yes.
It doesn't matter if it resolves. You just get, you play an 8 mana blue spell and you get 8 merfolk and then you attack with them. And you've got merfolk kindred deck where, maybe merfolk can't block or can't be blocked or, you buff them up, whatever. And then there's the line where you play a bunch of spells that can't be countered. Whether it's because you have a permanent like Leer on the battlefield that says spells you cast can't be countered. Right. So you then play, even a 4 mana spell. You play...
But yeah, so you just play that spell and then you also get the 1/1s.
Right. So like you get both, the best of both worlds you play.
Okay. So the question I had though, does Affinity or Evoke work the way you want it to? Or does it look at the alternate?
So it's the amount of mana spent. So
spent to cast the spell. Yeah. Okay, so Evoke, you'll get the Evoke value of the cost.
Though you could ostensibly also put things in this deck like Damping Sphere. If a land is tapped for 2 or more mana, it produces colorless instead of any other type. Each spell a player casts costs 1 more to cast for each other spell that player has cast this turn. So like you can get that spending mana up if you play something like this, and it kind of sucks for your opponents.
This is a commander that doesn't necessarily want to hit the battlefield as soon as you can cast it.
Yeah.
Most commanders are very much just get it out as fast as you can. But with this one, I don't know. I mean, any pump spell that isn't a creature, and then you're going to have the benefit of having that many merfolk, named merfolk. So you can literally, all of the creatures named merfolk get some kind of benefit or whatever. But you can get those out before Grandmother Goby comes out.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, everything starts to happen. So
that's the other thing I like about this deck is the sequencing, right? Like
yes.
If you don't have the things that can stop the counters, you just don't play Goby yet, and then you play those things, and then later on, or you can play into Goby, and that's fine too. Like, so like there's a few roads where this is a lot of fun. Anyway, that's enough for that one.
So the next one I want to talk about, I genuinely have questions here. Okay. This is going to be a bit of a discussion. So the creature is Zagorka, Mother of Sanctum.
Of course.
It is a green, blue, red, and 1 for a 4/2 human peasant. It has vigilance and trample. And it says, at the beginning of your end step,
Okay.
Each player may create a tapped land token named Sanctum with tap, add 1 mana of any color. Each opponent who does can't attack you during their next turn. My initial look at this, it just looks bad. You are giving everybody gets a land, so you think that's fair. But is it really fair? Because they all come into play tapped. Everybody else gets to use theirs first. Because yours is going to stay tapped. Yours is the last one to untap. They get to use that mana. Yes, they don't get to swing at you, but they're getting the mana. So every time they don't have a profitable attack on you, they get mana.
Mm-hmm.
So when they weren't going to swing at you anyway, they get land. Not a treasure. Not something they use once and is gone. This is permanent. This thing's going to stay out there for a long time. They also get to choose when they don't want to. So if they think that this is an opportunity to swing at you, they'll take it. And yes, they give up a land, but I don't know. I see this as being, when you play it early, everyone will take the land because everybody wants the ramp. But also, most people don't have particularly good attacks early on. So what are you gaining? Nothing. You're not goading creatures. They just can't swing at you.
Right.
And later on, when people have plenty of land, what are you getting? Nothing. Because they'll either take the land because they weren't going to swing at you, or they don't, and they swing at you anyway because they've got plenty of land. So my gut says this card is garbage. But I still want to play it.
Yeah, I definitely want to play it to see how it turns out. It's interesting because if you look at this in compared to like Orzhov Advocist, where it says at the beginning of your upkeep, each player may put 2+1/+1 counters on a creature they control. If a player does, creatures that player controls can attack you or planeswalkers you control until your next turn. Like that is much more like, I can see why they would still be taking it toward end game, right?
Yeah.
But you're right. With lands, it's definitely more iffy.
Right. Now, if you are playing this, then you know that you're getting a land drop every single turn.
Mm.
And it doesn't count as your land drop. So you can play your land on your turn, and then you get a second one. So landfall triggers. It just feels like you're giving up a lot here. And I feel like there should be something else. But there's the other part of me that's like, you know what? 2 land a turn out of because of my commander, that doesn't sound bad. It's a 3-color commander, so the fact that you're getting land that taps for any color, that's going to get you out of a lot of jams.
Yeah.
But how much? It's just going to help the opponent so much. I just don't know that this is, that this is a path I want to really go down. But
right.
I can see myself at least making an effort to try and put this together to see if I can make it work. So
yeah. My next one's called Kuroki, Thief of Talents. 4 and a black for 4/4 with menace. It's a spirit. It says at the beginning of your end step, target opponent may draw 4 cards. If they do, look at that player's hand, and you may cast a spell from their hand without paying its mana cost. If they don't, put 2+1/+1 counters on Kuroki. This falls into a very similar trap of early game. You might actually get to do the thing, but at least there's like a benefit for them not doing it, right? Like Zagorka kind of like, you still get the land, but it's tapped. This, you get 2+1/+1 counters on a 4/4 with menace. And it doesn't have to do anything except stay on the battlefield through your end step. You don't have to attack with it until it's huge. And I really like the pattern of just like looking around the table, seeing which of my 3 opponents is the friendliest at that moment in the game, and being like, hey, do you have something I can play? Being able to play something somebody else controls or somebody else owns for free and getting the information of what's in their hand is like huge, right? I think the more fun thing is, say I look at you as my opponent and I'm like, all right, we're both behind.
Yeah.
If I choose you and you give me a card,
yeah,
I get to choose the card. I don't even like. It's not like you get to choose the card. So you give me your hand, but first you draw 4 cards. So there's 4
they
cards.
don't know what they're giving you.
Right. They only know, half of what they're giving you. And so you could ostensibly windfall into something amazing.
I was going to say, you and that player are going to have to be in pretty bad shape, because I looked at this one and I was like, it is going to have to be a terrible situation where I would choose anything other than no, put counters on that guy. Because it's one thing to look at your hand and say, yeah, go ahead, you get a free one out of here. It's quite another to add 4 cards that you don't know and then say, here, now go. I'm like, if nothing else, it means I get to take the card that you want the most.
Right.
That I think is the most key right now. And I can cast that. I'm just like, and I think just so harsh.
Yeah, and I think that there's definitely that way to play it, right? And I think that if I've learned anything from my 12th Doctor deck, it's that or any of my steel cards decks, it's that you kind of leave the best options be, because once you start using the best options, you're the biggest threat. I think the other interesting thing here is that it's your end step. So if your opponent chooses to do the counters, you have a target for your next turn. Sure, it might be a while, but there's there's a consequence for their actions,
and you can make that clear even before they choose.
There's also
I'm doing this. If you don't let me play the spell, expect a 6/6 menace coming your way.
Right. And that's probably going to happen a bunch of times, and then it's going to be bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah. What's fun too is there are plenty of people who run the tower, Reliquary Tower.
Yeah.
So they've just got huge hands, right?
Yeah.
They will obviously choose the counters.
Yes.
So there's that. But I think you build this deck up with a bunch of things that when you put counters on things, you get to destroy stuff, or when you put counters on things, you get to do these other things, or modified creatures you control have trample, creatures with +1/+1 counters on it can't be blocked type of stuff. Or throw this in the 99 and it'll be a grand fun time when you do come across it. It's only 5 mana.
Yeah.
It's great.
My next one, Istvan.
Yeah.
Butcher of Eln, because I had to pick Istvan. If you follow me on Blue Sky at all, you'll know why. Istvan is a 1/3 creature. It's a legendary human. Costs 1 black. I want to put it in my Grenzo deck, which lets me pull cards from the bottom of my library, as long as the power is in that particular Grenzo build is 3 or less, it then comes onto the battlefield without paying its mana cost.
Nice.
And then the text is, Istvan attacks each combat if able. Okay. Sorry, folks, I have to swing. That's what Istvan does. And it says, prevent all damage that would be dealt to Istvan by creatures. So somebody has to use a removal spell to kill this. And then whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, not Istvan kills, whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, put 2 +1/+1 counters on Istvan. So during the course of a round, a creature dies. So Istvan then immediately becomes a 3/5, and it's not +1/+0, it's +1/+1. So the back end is getting bigger. Istvan then quickly becomes harder and harder. All you're doing is chump blocking. And if somebody is planning to use direct damage to kill him, well, after one creature dies, his toughness is already 5. Suddenly, that's a commitment in cards. You have to use just, destroy target creature. I think Istvan looks like a lot of fun to me, and I think this thing could get huge. The other nice thing about Istvan, it doesn't do it all. Like, if you want this thing to really actually hit, because essentially everybody's just going to chump block over and over because there's just no downside. I'm going to chump block. It gets bigger. Okay, I can still chump block. You have to figure out a way. Shadow, flying, trample, whatever. You have to figure out some level of evasion with this for Istvan because he needs help. And I like a card like this. I don't want my cards to do absolutely everything. This one needs a little help. He's plenty big. He does a lot on his own, but he could use a little bit of help, and happy to offer that. So
Yeah, absolutely.
this looks like a lot of fun.
I've got one more. I'm going to make it brief because it kind of bleeds into our next episode.
Sure.
My next one is the Everforger. It's a 6-mana legendary artifact creature construct for 4. It's a 4/5. It's got Rule Breaker, which is something we'll talk more in depth about next week, but we'll have a little bit to talk about here.
Yeah.
A deck with this commander can have artifact creature and equipment cards of any color, identity, and any basic lands. Whenever you cast an artifact creature or equipment spell, you may copy that spell. Do this only once each turn. I like that. I like that it's on cast. I like that it's only once each turn. This is interesting because I think it makes a viable equipment deck, and you're only using basics for other colors, and so like you're not getting any of the land ramp from other colors. You're only getting artifact creatures and equipments from other colors. It's not too broken. I think it would be interesting to see like the things you can do, right? Like you can get another assault suit.
Yes.
You can't have 2 Embercleaves because it's still legendary.
Yeah.
So like it doesn't get rid of the legendary things, which is reasonable. I would love to see how this kind of plays out, because I think that like there are a lot of also colorless artifacts or colorless equipments that have colored activations. So like you can get it out fairly easily with your non-basics or your wastes, and then worry about how to pay for the, whatever the abilities are. And then artifact creatures is interesting because we've been getting a lot more. There's a lot of like red-blue ones, as I would know. I think this would be really funny to have, whether it's have this in Brutaclad or Brutaclad in this, because you're making copies of stuff, and then you can your equipments, you can just make all your tokens into that equipment. Granted, that's at the beginning of combat. You would need a way to equip it, but setting yourself up for future turns is quite funny.
Yeah.
I think it's fine. Rule Breaker, I think because it's basics, and I think because it's that specific type, I think this one is the least egregious in terms of like, because you're already just dealing with just artifacts. Which I don't want to say that artifacts aren't broken. They are. Like we'll talk about how we feel about it as like a thing next week. But I think overall it doesn't necessarily break anything, which then just goes to show like, why do it at all?
I think the idea is pick 2 colors. Make it a 2-color deck.
Yeah.
Just because the way the Rule Breaker is phrased, it very much says, or it wants you to imagine this as, this is going to be a 5-color deck, and I'm going to use any equipment that I want. Like, or how about instead of having all kinds of mana issues, you just do a 2-color.
Yeah.
Because like it says, you can only use basics. Now you can use artifacts. Can have artifact creature and equipment cards of any of any color identity. There are tons of artifact creatures that make mana.
Yeah.
That make mana make colored mana. So you can include all of that.
All the mirror.
Yeah, I look forward to this one. I think this one's going to be fun. Not a fan of the Rule Breaker mechanic generally, but I can see where literally, and this is a scenario where there's going to be a lot of subsections in that EDH rec list to go searching through. So
yeah, it's definitely double-edged sword. No pun intended. Do you have another one? I think we got time for one more.
Sure.
If you do.
Real quick, Miss Highwater. Don't worry about the mana cost. It's a 5/3 with Menace. And when Miss Highwater deals combat damage to a player who doesn't have a contract counter, that player can discard their hand, and if they do, they draw 7 cards and get a contract counter. For as long as they have the contract counter, when they lose the game, for each artifact and creature they controlled, you create a token that's a copy of it. This sounds like fun. This sounds like, oh, great. I swing in with my 5/3 Menace, which is going to be hard to block because it's Menace. And then at the end of when this person dies, I get all of their artifacts and artifacts and creatures they control.
If you're still alive.
If you're still alive. There are so many things that are bad about this card. Okay. 1, you're giving your opponent 7 new cards.
If they want. That's right. Their choice.
Right. So, best case scenario, they look at the 7 cards in their hand and say, no. And that's the best case scenario. Because from there on in, it gets worse. If they choose to discard their hand, doesn't matter how many cards they've got, they get to draw 7 new cards. So 7 new cards that let them deal with the problem that is you. And the downside for this is they have a contract counter that says that you get stuff when they're dead. Well, what's the downside? They're dead. They don't care at that point what happens. So there's no downside for them. You've just given them 7 new cards. Now, that contract counter, the other 2 opponents are now looking at that person going, if we kill them, all of their crap now goes to you and we got to do it again. Here's a better thought. Let's kill you first.
Yep.
And then that contract counter won't matter. All you're doing by swinging in is, congratulations, you did 5 damage to an opponent, and in return you gave them 7 cards to deal with you, and you made the other 2 players want to kill you first.
And then you do and then you do it the next turn, and now, one of the people who already wanted to kill you has 7 new cards.
Right, that's if you swing at somebody else. Now, if you keep swinging at the same person, they don't get another contract counter. So at that point, it's just a 5/3 swinging in. It makes no difference. It's just not enough.
No.
This is not enough. And it costs 2 black and 2. When you start to realize the downside on this, man, this has got to cost less. Like 40 damage? This thing could cost 2, and I'm still not sure that I'd want to play it. It is so bad. When Miss Highwater gets killed, they still have the contract counter. Your opponents are still deterred from swinging at that player. They still have the 7 cards they got. This is just, it is so bad. I don't see the benefit here. I just don't. And I don't want to pay 4 for a 5/3 with Menace that comes with that downside.
You want to hear how to make this game really confusing?
Yeah.
Put an assault suit on
it. Yeah, sure.
Now, do you have to keep track of whose contract counter you have? Because, if you have a contract counter from anyone, it doesn't trigger. But now, the contract counter must be linked to both people, right? I don't know.
I don't think so. I think that the contract counters that would be out there, whoever controls Miss Highwater when that player dies gets the stuff.
But I think that because it says for as long as they have a contract counter, it is tied to the counter and not to the creature being alive.
No, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So if Miss Highwater's dead when your opponent dies, it still triggers.
Yeah. So now you have to take it. Contract to so and so. Oh no, this is and that just makes it worse to me. Even
right?
Worse. Now I got paperwork I need to be keeping track of.
Contracts.
Yeah, I got multiple contracts, and you got to really read the fine print when this starts happening. So,
Anywho.
No, Miss Highwater, this is bad card. Please don't.
Anyway,
all right.
I think that's it for today.
Sure.
I could talk about these cards forever.
Oh yeah,
because some of them seem really fun, and some of them seem like poo-poo. But we'll be back next week to talk about how we feel about the set as a whole, the release, whatever. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you press that follow button or subscribe button. I don't know what it is. Give us a like, throw a comment down below. Tell us your favorite of these mystery booster commanders.
Yes.
We're Temple of Falspod, where our decks are not optimized, but our plays sure as heck are fun. I'm Andy.
I'm Bruce.
Thank you again. I'm going to say thank you a lot, aren't I? Play some magic for me, and may your 5th land be the Temple.
Bye!
Wait, before you go, just wanted to say thank you for listening. You can reach out to us via email at falsepodmtg@gmail.com or loosguy@falsepodmtg. Bruce is at Manaburned, and I'm at Andy Weekend, though you'll definitely notice I use the podcast Twitter far more often. Now that we've got you here, make sure you subscribe, like, rate us on whatever podcast platform you use. It helps us out. It gets us more reach. Subscribe to us on our YouTube channel. Like a video there. Leave some comments for more casual enjoyment. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back with some more timeless discussions about all things casual. So come hang out, and may your 5th land be the Temple. Bye-bye. Should I do my best, Bruce? Bye!